Today, we're talking about something that sounds like it's straight out of a movie, but is getting more real by the day, the AI team. We're going to break down how integrated AI systems could actually replace entire departments in just a couple of years. So yeah, let's get right into it. So let's just ask the big question right up front. Can AI really replace your team by 2026? And just to be clear, we are not talking about some small tool that helps you write emails a little faster. No. We are talking about a total restructuring of how a business actually works. So is this all just hype, or are we looking at the new norm? Well, if you look at the data, the shift is already happening, and fast. A recent report from PwC found that 84%, that's a massive number, 84% of big companies are already using AI in at least one core part of their business. This isn't some trend that's on the horizon. It's here. It's the standard right now.
This quote here, it just hits the nail on the head. For the longest time, we've thought of AI as a co-pilot, right? Something that sits next to you and gives you a hand. Well, that idea is already outdated. We're now in the era of autonomous agents. These are AI systems that can handle complex, multi-step jobs all by themselves, from start to finish, with almost no human help. That is a foundational change.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we'll unpack the new opportunity all this creates. Then, we're diving into three powerful systems: the automated content factory, the instant production studio, and the autonomous operations core. And you're going to want to stick around because we'll wrap it all up with a playbook for how you can actually use this stuff. All right, let's start with the opportunity here, because it's really easy to hear AI can replace your team and see it as a threat. But I want you to try and flip that around. For entrepreneurs, for founders, this is probably the biggest opportunity we have seen in decades. Why? Because all those old barriers, needing massive budgets and a whole team of engineers, they're starting to just crumble away. Okay, let's jump into our first system. This one is set to completely transform how marketing and content teams work. We're calling it the automated content factory. So what exactly is that? The best way to think about it is like a literal assembly line, but for content. It's a system where you connect a bunch of different AI tools that work together as a team. One tool brainstorms ideas, the next one writes the copy, another designs the web page, and a final one pushes it all out to your social media channels. It's a complete end-to-end workflow. And the amazing thing is, these tools are available for anyone to use. For instance, you could use a platform like Jasper AI to generate all of your ads and blog posts at scale. Then you can feed that into a tool like Reloom to instantly create website wireframes from just a simple prompt. And finally, you use something like vidIQ to automatically blast that content across all your social networks. See how they connect? That's the factor. All right, moving on to our second system. So we've got our written content automated, but what about the really expensive stuff, like professional video and audio? Well, that is where the instant production studio comes into play. This system is a true game changer because it basically gives everybody their own production studio. It's a suite of AI tools that can generate and edit professional-level video and audio without you needing expensive cameras, a fancy studio, or specialized talent. You get to be the director, the producer, and the editor all from your laptop. And here's a taste of how this works. You could use a tool like Synthesia to create a training video with a super realistic AI avatar. All you have to do is type in the script. Then you can edit that video using Descript, which is wild because it's as easy as editing a Word doc. For the voiceover, 11 Labs can generate narration that sounds incredibly human. You put them all together and you have a full production house right there on your desk. So we've got content automated and we've got media automated. This third system is the glue that holds the whole thing together. It's the autonomous operations core, and it basically acts as the central nervous system for your entire business. I want you to think of this system as the invisible workhorse that runs your company in the background. It's an AI engine that handles all the essential but tedious tasks, automating and connecting everything from customer support and sales leads all the way to project management. Let's make this super practical with an example. Imagine a new lead comes into your CRM. The operations core instantly kicks into gear. An AI agent drafts a personalized email. Then it automatically schedules a follow-up on your calendar. And finally, it gives you a quick summary of how the deal is progressing. This entire sequence happens in seconds without you lifting a finger. So the most important thing to get is that these three systems, the content factory, the production studio, and the operations core, they don't work alone.
They're designed to be connected, to talk to each other. They create a single, intelligent, automated backbone for the whole business.
So we've covered the what. Now it's time for the so what. How does all this actually translate into a real-world advantage? This is what we're calling your $1,000,000 AI playbook. The real opportunity here isn't just about saving a bit of time. It's way bigger than that. It's about completely changing the business model itself. Using these systems, it is now possible to build a super high-margin, incredibly scalable business without having to hire a team of developers or have a PhD in computer science.
And this is such a powerful idea. The secret to winning in this new world isn't about being the smartest AI researcher on the planet. You just need to be one step ahead of your customer, using these tools to solve their problems. That's where all the value is.
Let's just compare the old way versus the new way. Traditionally, you needed to hire expensive tech talent, raise a ton of capital, and deal with super long development cycles. The new AI-powered model, it's built with no-code platforms, it's way more friendly to bootstrapping, and it lets you launch and get feedback almost instantly. The game has totally changed. And the impact on your actual workload is just massive. Businesses that put these systems in place are seeing a 50 to 70% drop in all those repetitive tasks. Now, what does that mean for a founder? It means you get all that time back to focus on the things that actually grow the business: sales, strategy, and building relationships. So, to wrap it all up, these integrated AI systems are the new foundation. They're letting a whole new generation of non-technical founders build incredibly scalable businesses and compete at a level that just a few years ago would have seemed completely impossible. Which brings us to one last big idea to think about. Your next strategic hire probably won't be a person at all. It'll be an automated system. So the real question is, what are you going to build with it? Have you ever wanted to start your own business but thought, I can't code or I don't have a huge budget? Well, listen up because this is for you. Right now, there's a huge, and I mean huge, opportunity to build a really profitable business, and it's all thanks to AI. So the big question is, how do you actually get in on this? Let's break it down. This quote right here, it perfectly sums up what I like to call the starving crowd advantage. It is, without a doubt, the single biggest opportunity for new entrepreneurs today. You've got this massive gap between what businesses are desperate for and the number of people who can actually help them. And here's the secret. You don't need to be some PhD-level AI developer. You just need to be one step ahead of your customer. And look, this isn't just a hunch. The data is absolutely staggering. 94%, almost every single business leader out there, sees AI as critical to their success. This means businesses have moved past curiosity. They are actively searching for real-world solutions to their problems, and they are ready to write checks for them. So what we have is a perfect storm, right? Massive demand, a tiny supply of real experts, and business leaders with budgets ready to go. This is the new AI gold rush. But here's the best part. Instead of needing pickaxes and shovels, the tools for this gold rush are available to pretty much everyone. And that brings us to the absolute game changer, your no-code toolkit. These are the platforms that have totally leveled the playing field. They make it possible for anyone, and I mean anyone, regardless of your technical background, to build and sell incredibly powerful AI solutions. So what in the world is no-code automation? Honestly, think of it like digital Lego blocks. It's that simple. You can take different apps, your email, a video generator, a customer database, and just visually connect them together. You drag and drop to create these powerful automated workflows without writing a single line of code. It's all about logic, not programming. This is what we mean by democratization. Tools like N8N or Make have put the power to build these sophisticated automations that solve really expensive business problems right into your hands. You don't have to be a coder, you just have to be the person who understands the problem you're trying to solve. Okay, so that's the theory, but how does this actually look in the real world? Let's dive into 3 specific high-value workflows that you could start building and selling, like today. And these aren't just cool ideas. They solve real, burning pain points that businesses are dealing with every single day. So here's the quick rundown. First, we've got an automated content engine for businesses that just can't keep up with social media. Second, an instant lead engagement bot for companies that are losing sales because they're too slow to respond. And third, an automated insights report for businesses drowning in customer feedback. See a pattern? Each one takes a costly problem and applies a sleek AI solution.
Let's start with the social content engine. The old way, you have a marketing manager burning 10 plus hours every single week just trying to stay consistent. It's a grind. The automated workflow, it's a machine. It never gets tired, it never runs out of ideas, and it pushes out fresh video content daily. The value here is crystal clear. Way more content, perfect consistency, all for a fraction of the cost and effort.
So how does this magic trick actually work? Well, first, the whole workflow kicks off on a schedule, say twice a day. Then, an AI agent comes up with a fresh idea for a video. That idea gets fed into an AI video generator, which actually creates the content. And finally, the automation schedules it and blasts it out across YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and Reels. It's a completely hands-off content machine for your client.
All right, next up, the instant lead engagement bot. You know, the manual way is just a sales killer. A hot lead fills out a form, but by the time a person finally gets around responding, that lead is ice cold. They've moved on. This automated workflow completely solves that speed to lead problem. An intelligent, personalized email goes out in less than a minute, engaging that customer while they're still excited. This has a direct impact on revenue. It's a no-brainer.
The process here is just so elegant. A form gets submitted, and that triggers the whole thing. The AI reads the message to figure out exactly what that person needs. Then, boom, it drafts and sends a custom email that not only answers their question, but nudges them to book a meeting right away. And, to top it all off, it logs the lead in the company's CRM. It's literally the perfect AI receptionist.
And finally, we have the automated insights report. Think about it. So many businesses have customer reviews piling up on Google, Yelp, everywhere. But that data just sits there, completely ignored. It's a goldmine of feedback going to waste. This workflow takes all that messy, unstructured chatter and turns it into a strategic asset, a clean, daily report that tells the leadership exactly what their customers are thinking. Here's the breakdown. The workflow automatically goes out and scrapes all the new reviews. An AI model then reads each one, classifies the sentiment, is it positive, negative, neutral, and tags the key themes. Are people talking about pricing, customer service? Then it generates a super concise summary of all the key findings and delivers it straight to the management team. This is high-level business intelligence, delivered fresh every day with zero manual work.
So, look, these aren't just cool tech demos, right? They're business models. Each one of these workflows is a foundation that you can use to build a real, profitable agency. So let's talk about the actual path to get there.
Seriously, don't try to do everything at once. In month 1, just pick one of these services and master it. Learn how to build it inside and out. Then in month 2, get laser focused on a niche. Who needs this solution the most? Dentists? E-commerce stores? Month 3 is all about getting that first paying client. And by month 6, you're going to have results and testimonials that you can use to scale up and charge more.
This is your first big target. And it is not a pipe dream. $10,000 a month is completely achievable. But you don't get there by trying to be everything to everyone. You get there by becoming the absolute best at solving one painful problem for one specific type of customer. That focus, that's your superpower. The barriers have never been lower. The tools are right there, ready to use, and businesses are literally out there searching for the exact solutions we just talked about. So really, the only question left to ask is, which problem are you going to solve first?
So you've thought about starting a really profitable business, but the one thing holding you back is you don't know how to code, right? Well, what if I told you that doesn't matter anymore? In this explainer, we are going to break down exactly how you can build a real, money-making AI business without touching a single line of code. Let's get into it.
Okay, first, let's just start with a number, because this is a big one. $407 billion. That's what the global AI market is projected to be worth by 2025. This isn't just some passing trend, folks. It's a massive tidal wave of opportunity, and honestly, the doors are blown wide open for people who know how to get in on the action.
And this quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head. The entire game has changed. All those old rules, needing a PhD, needing tons of cash, needing a team of engineers, they're just crumbling away. This is now for everyone.
So here's our roadmap. First, we're going to talk about the why, this new AI gold rush. Then we'll get practical with a no-code blueprint. After that, we'll open up the toolbox and look at the actual tools you can use today. Then we'll talk scaling, from hustle to system, and finally, the most important part, figuring out your very first move.
I want you to think of this moment like a modern-day gold rush. But here's the secret.
You don't need to be the one mining the gold, writing all that complex AI code. No way. The real money is in selling the shovels, the simple, no-code AI solutions that literally every business is dying to get their hands on.
So what are these shovels exactly? Well, no-code AI tools are just platforms that let you build incredible stuff using drag-and-drop interfaces. We're talking smart chatbots, automated workflows, things that feel like magic to your clients. And you can build and launch them in an afternoon. No programming degree necessary.
And this slide just lays out the revolution perfectly. The old way meant hiring expensive developers, raising a ton of money, and waiting months or even years to launch. But the new way, it just shatters all of that. Now anyone can build something. You can start with almost no money, and you can deploy your product instantly to start making sales.
And look, this isn't some pie-in-the-sky idea. Businesses are absolutely starving for this stuff right now. I mean, look at these numbers. 76% of customer service teams, 68% of marketing teams. They're already on board. They've got the budget, they've got the need, but what they don't have is someone to actually do it for them. That's the gap. That's where you come in.
Okay, enough about the why, let's get into the how. This isn't theory. This is a proven, step-by-step blueprint that people are using as we speak to hit that first huge milestone, $10,000 a month.
And the process is so simple. Step 1, find a burning pain. Think about a local dentist spending a fortune on ads, but their front desk is swamped and they're missing out on calls from new high-value patients. That's a very expensive problem. Step 2, choose that niche. Not just healthcare. Get specific like cosmetic dentists. Step 3, package your no-code solution. You could build them an AI chatbot that answers questions and books appointments 24/7. See, you're not selling them AI, you're selling them a system to never miss a new patient again.
And I really have to double-click on this idea of niching down. Because when you focus on just one type of client, like those cosmetic dentists, you prove your idea works so much faster. You become the go-to expert, which means you can charge a premium. And best of all, that's how you scale. The case study from your first happy dentist is the perfect sales pitch for the next 10.
Now, this is maybe the most important thing I'll say. So many people get paralyzed by this feeling that they're not technical enough. But listen, you don't need to be some AI wizard. The truth is, most business owners are so far behind the curve. You just need to be one single step ahead of them to provide an absolutely immense amount of value. All right, so we've been talking about selling the shovels in this gold rush. Let's actually open up the toolbox and see what some of these incredible no-code tools look like.
And just look at the power you have at your fingertips now. You've got Bubble, where you can build an entire web app with a database without code. Then there's Galileo AI, which is wild. You just type what you want an app to look like, and it designs it for you. Need to turn a boring spreadsheet into a beautiful client portal? Softer does that in minutes. Or Artistly AI for unlimited images. Each one of these is basically a business in a box waiting for you.
So you've done it. You hit that first 10K a month. That's amazing. But getting from there to 50K a month or even more, it requires a totally new way of thinking. You have to go from being a founder who does everything to an operator who builds systems.
Yeah, this quote says it all. The hustle gets you in the door, but it's systems and automation that let you actually win the game. Growth at the next level is all about building a machine that makes money for you even when you're not working.
So here's what that looks like in practice. First, as you get testimonials, you have to raise your prices. You're delivering proven value. Next, you turn those testimonials into polished case studies. That's your sales machine. Then you use AI tools to automate your own work. And finally, you start building a personal brand by sharing what you're doing. And that last point is the key to unlocking true wealth. When you build a brand, your expertise stops being something you trade for an hourly rate, and it becomes an asset. An asset that attracts high-ticket clients, speaking gigs, and other opportunities to you. It's how you finally stop trading time for money.
Okay, we've covered the why, the how, the tools, and the path to scale. But none of that matters without this next part. You have to take action. This incredible window of opportunity is wide open right now. But trust me, it is not going to stay that way forever.
If you take away just one thing today, let it be this. Your biggest advantage is just a simple matter of supply and demand. Businesses are absolutely desperate for help with AI, and there are hardly any people who can actually provide it. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be in the game. So I'm going to leave you with this one question. It's not about if you can do this, it's about what you're going to choose to do. Using the simple framework we talked about, which specific, painful bottleneck in which specific industry are you going to solve first? Because that decision, that's your first move.